Hello, Impact Biology video group. I hope you're all having a great summer so far. As you could tell, I thought it would be helpful if I did a brief sort of video update about some of the things I'm working on. Well, it would have been great to meet face to face. It seems like with everyone's schedules and all kinds of vacations and conferences and fun things like that going on, it just was a little bit challenging. So I thought this would make sense. Everyone can just view this whenever they have time. And then if you all could sort of submit your own updates, either via, you don't have to use Camtasia Relay, which is what I'm using. If you want to, you can use this. It's a free software. It's fairly easy to use, free through the U of M. If you want to do just a quick write-up email, that works perfect. Just some sort of update about what's going on. And I think that would work great. That way everyone can see where everyone's at. And I think the goal here is to try to finish up close to the end of the summer. At least that was the original goal. It may or may not still be possible. And if you look here in our folder, you should all have access to this. And this shows our 8 proposed projects. Of those 8, looks like actually, well, number 8 here about how to make a good presentation. This one is the one that I kind of use for demonstration purposes, and it's essentially done. So I'm kind of counting that one as being done. There are several other ones here that different folks are working on. One of the other ones that I'm working on is number 1 here, which is about how to maximize your team's effectiveness. And Anna is, I think, also working on some ideas for this. And I don't know what Anna's come up with so far, but I've heard that she's had a few ideas in mind. One thing I could say is, depending on how far along that is, we don't necessarily need to proceed with that. We can, and I'm happy to help Anna work on that. But I've noticed that we do have this brand new teamwork.umm.edu website all about surviving the zombie apocalypse, or actually rather group projects. They kind of have this zombie apocalypse theme, which is sort of a fun theme they chose to do. And there's a lot of videos, and actually it sounds very similar to the type of thing we were thinking about creating for ourselves. So I think that one kind of counts as being done too, but I am totally open to adding to it or doing something else or whatever we want to do. But it could be done if we wanted to go that route. So back to our list here. The other ones that I'm working on, I guess I'm working on 4. I'm working on one with Mark about how to find information about your topic in biology, and I think Mark was, last I checked, spearheading that particular part and had some good ideas, but I would like to find out more about them. And then that leaves one more that I'm working on, which is this how to write in biology, which is something I'm working on with Anna, although I've been kind of spearheading this particular one. And trying to come up with some things that I'm going to show you today. So that's what I'm going to focus on today. Let me just quick check to make sure we're still recording. It's about 3 minutes so far. What I'm going to show you and what I have created so far for how to write in biology is what I'm hoping will be kind of a fun biology writing game. And the reason I decided to go this route was, for one, I could take advantage of the new storyline software I got, which I was pretty excited about using. And 2, I think that when I was thinking of different spins I could put on this topic, a lot of them seem kind of boring, and I thought that while they're really important, that students might not want to be taking extra time to do them. So I thought if I made it into a game, students might be more interested, more engaged, and it was sort of an experiment, just like this video is an experiment. So let's kind of show you what I have so far. It's not complete, but what I'll show you is kind of a skeleton of what we have, so you'll kind of get a sense for what's there. And then maybe you'll be able to provide suggestions or ideas or any comments that you like. So I'm going to open up Storyline now, and you can see this is kind of what the Storyline interface looks like. We have all kinds of different things inputted into here. And this game, we wanted, because in order to make it a game like well, in order to make it like a game, we wanted to put sort of a fun candy coating on it to get people to play it. So we made it sort of alien focused. It has these little alien guys that talk to you, and I think hopefully as you'll see, they're kind of amusing. And we decided to go with the title of Play on Words, which is itself kind of a play on words, but apparently these aliens are from the planet Playon or something like that. And that's something that we kind of just came up with early on really fast, and the more we were exposed to it, the more we liked it. So we kind of kept the title around. So let's see the introduction scene. And actually what I'll do is I'm going to try to preview this entire project here. So while that's queuing, let me just pause this. You don't have to watch that. Okay, almost done here. Hopefully we are back in action. should see our introduction screen showing up here in just a second with some music. There is a brief introduction, and we're not going to watch the entire thing, but I'll show you some of it. Somewhere in space. And this is the inside of the cockpit. You can see our two friendly aliens. And I'm not sure if you're going to be able to read what they're saying exactly on this particular video. I don't know if the quality is good enough. But they're kind of talking back and forth and sort of establishing the pretext for exactly what is happening. Right now it's asking the user to input their name right there. And I'll just type in something. Yeah, they don't like calling you by your actual name. So we'll be test subject 7143, and they're basically just going to give a little brief introduction about what their purpose is, and they'll explain to you that they've come to Earth to help improve our writing, because it's not very good. It's not up to their intergalactic standards, I guess. And after they run through a few antics here, we're going to actually skip the remainder of the intro. Let's see if our button works. Excellent. So at the end of the introduction, they basically tell you they're going to play this little game with you in order to help improve your writing skills, and they retire to a different level of their spaceship. And I think you could see the grad student we had doing the art did a really good job, and he was having a lot of fun with this. They have a very masterpiece theater style floor of their spaceship, I guess, with a fireplace and alien little statue up on the top there. And then what you can do once you're on this screen is to click these buttons here that are on either the left or the right hand side. I'm going to click one now, and they'll take you to a series of doors. So I can keep clicking these doors, and I'll go to several different places. But when you click on one of these elevator door call buttons, it will provide you with a title at the top that will tell you what you're going to do. This is about organization, so it's called Organization Optimizer. Another category is about science in scientific writing and things that are specific to science, so that's called Science Officer Training. We have one here about references and citations and how to find information. That's called Reference Referee. And I think we had one other one. Oh yeah, we have one called Sentence Sensei, and that's just about all kinds of different grammar and spelling and other types of issues that can crop up in sentences. So that's going to be a huge grab bag of lots of different things. And when you click on one of these buttons, and I'm not sure why that's advancing, I think that's a mistake. When you click on one of these buttons, it'll bring you to that particular game. So let's start with, let's go back here, and we'll start with Sentence Sensei. If you press the button, it'll open the door, and you'll have a little elevator sound. And you click on the empty void there, we'll start the game. So let's see what's in Sentence Sensei. I'm going to mute the volume a little bit on that. I do love that sound. We have kind of a, I guess, 70s style game show here in the background. Again, our lead artist on this project had a great time making this. We have our sort of Alex Trebek alien over there, and if you can't tell, this is sort of a Jeopardy style game. He's explaining exactly what to do, but once the introduction finishes, you'll see there's a variety of categories here. Even this one category of Sentence Sensei is broken down into punctuation, ghostwriter, omit needless words, and then there's just a grab bag of different things. And it's just like Jeopardy. You can click on any one of these boxes. We'll just go for this first one for 200 points. And currently the question is not inputted in this. We're trying to finalize the artwork and sounds before we put in the questions. But there'll be questions here, like here's a sentence, where should you add the comma or something like that. And then of course they can choose correct or incorrect. We'll pick the right answer and continue. And then you'll see that kind of comes off of the board here, and then you can just proceed on to the next question. You can do that for different different values. We'll do this one incorrectly. And now those two are taken away. And I guess the user will keep going until they finish essentially going through all these different categories and seeing how many they can get right. Notice down here on the bottom it is tabulating the score. We're up to negative 400 points because we haven't been doing too well, I guess. We got that 600 pointer wrong and the 200 pointer correct. And all the scores for the entire game are going to all fall into one pool. So at the end of the game, it'll tell you what your ultimate total score is for writing and biology, and it will tell you how well you did on each category, along with some maybe advice on what you could do to improve. But that's what this particular mini game is. It's sort of again this sort of Jeopardy style game. I'm gonna see if we can move back to our main menu. And we'll try a different one to show you what that's like. This one's called Organization Optimizer. So we'll click there, and this one takes us down into the bowels or the engine room of the spaceship. Have a new character introduced here. Seems surprised to see us. And he's gonna fill up his little coffee cup there from that complex machinery behind him. And once again, he's going to provide a little introduction to this. And just to save time, I'm not going to let you watch the whole thing. But basically, he says that he's, you know, kind of the engineer of the spaceship, and he's in charge of trying to make sure the spaceship runs. And as you can see, there's a flaming machine behind him, and it's normally a machine that helps to fuel the spaceship, and of course, because it's a writing game, the spaceship is entirely fueled by good quality writing. So it's up to you to sort of vet the writing that he's going to put into this machine to make sure that, you know, the machine doesn't overload and that you can get enough fuel to get where you need to go. I'm going to skip the introduction for now. Although you can see there are little places here where you can learn more about what goes into each section of a paper, the introduction, results, methods, and conclusion sections. I'm going to skip that part. And you can see this question screen comes down, and he kind of slowly sidles away. And then there's lots of different types of questions here. This first one just gives you a particular sentence, and you have to figure out which part of the paper this came from, whether it was from the methods, the introduction, or the results. And we look at it, let's see, it looks like probably some basic background information. Let's try introduction. Yes, we are right. This is a different one, and in this one you have to actually organize these sentences into the appropriate sections. So here's something about methods. We'll put that in the methods section. This talks about continued exploration, so that'll be in conclusions. That's clearly a result, and that's an introduction. So let's try that. We'll hit submit. Correct. And as we're getting questions correct, you can see our fuel gauge over here on the right-hand side is actually filling up with this green liquid, I guess. And we're 20% the fuel we need to go somewhere. And here's another one. We're going to ask you to eliminate one of the following sentences. Apparently one of them is irrelevant or not important. I think I happen to remember that the last one is correct. So if you click that one, or if you click any of them, it'll sort of cross it out. And then once you click submit, it basically, you know, it scores you either right or wrong. And then you can continue. Here's a different one. This one asks you to organize the order of how these sentences would actually appear within a particular article. So this is, I think, going from more general to more specific. So it starts with amphibians, and then it goes into axolotl, and then, let's see. Oh, this is frogs and salamanders, and then I think it goes specifically to salamanders. So let's see if that's right. Yes. And I think that's where we're at for the demo of this particular category. We're going to add some more questions, obviously, and each section ultimately is going to have a random pool of questions. So you might get, say, 16 or 15, I guess it'll be 16 questions because our Jeopardy board is 16 questions in size. And each category you'll have to answer 16 questions from a pool that's going to be a much larger pool of questions that we make and put in there. I'm going to go back to the main menu so I can show you a different category. And let's see what we can do next. We have science officer training. This is the one we probably are the least far on right now, but I'll show you what we have. We have kind of a bridge here where there will be some little alien explaining what you're supposed to do. And you might be able to click on buttons to access specific parts of the training module. But the idea is you're being trained on the spaceship. And of course, in order to understand the controls, you really need to know how to write well in biology. I'm going to click next here. And ooh, they actually filled in some things. They even progressed since last time. And what you can see here is we have the person who's training you here, this sort of red-vested alien. And this one is asking you to pick which statement is science. And there's several different statements listed here. I haven't seen this one before. So if you say the wrong answer, you notice he has the angry eyebrows now. He has the two eyebrows on his one eye. And you can click to move on. And it will give you a different question. Let's see, of the following statements, pick ones that would contribute to a proposal opposing continued support for research on dengue fever. So this is more about how to write a persuasive scientific article. And again, I'll just kind of randomly pick some. And he, again, is disappointed in me. We'll try to randomly pick a few more things, see what happens here. It looks like there's only a couple of questions in our pool. But you can see if you upset him enough, he gets really exasperated and he's very disappointed in you. Apparently his kitten is actually in danger of being eaten too, whatever that means. But that's what this particular category is. And you know, actually I don't think we have a back button here. So I'm going to quickly pause and then show you the last category we have. Okay, so this last category is called Reference Referee, and again, this is going to involve many questions that are about citations and references, and if it's good or bad, or if it's in the right place or in the wrong place, things like that. Or even just why we even have references in the first place. And once again, you can see we don't have the actual questions inputted in here, but you have most of the graphics are made. There's a few more things I wanted to point out that well, actually, first of all, let me tell you what we're looking at. We're looking at here our scoreboard, where you as the test subject are playing against Cadet 17, which is sort of the assistant to the captain. And there will go through 3 or 4 periods, I guess probably 4, each of progressively increasing difficulty. And this here is the field for this sort of space ball game that they're playing. And it's some kind of combination of a football field and a baseball field and some, looks like some Harry Potter Quidditch rings or something like that over there. Again, our grad student really had a lot of fun making the art for this. We have our coaches. Eventually they're going to have mouths and they're going to, you know, either be happy or sad depending on how you answer. That's something we're going to add in soon. But for now, you know, you basically say correct, and if you say correct, I love this. We have our little blimp that goes by with the correct banner, and it tells you to click here to continue. If you say incorrect, you get the little rocket with the wrong banner there. And basically, you'll just go through clicking correct or incorrect, and to get to the various questions. And that's how this particular one works. So you can see we do have those sort of 4 separate little mini games. At the end, after you've completed all 4 of those, something we haven't built in yet is there's going to be some sort of finale slide that tells you how well you did again overall and which categories you need to improve the most on. And that's essentially our game. We do have a lot of the questions written up. I apologize they're not all into the game at this point, but you can kind of see essentially where we're going with this and see some of the types of sounds and animations and things we have. I should point out that a lot of this, you know, we still need to add sounds for the rockets, and we need to maybe have some more like crowd cheering sounds or things like that. But a lot of that we have, and it's just not in this particular version. But it's coming up soon, and we're hoping to finish up this version by the end of the month. That's our goal, and we'll see if we can do that. And I guess that's all I have. That is my update. I really look forward to hearing your updates, and I also look forward and would appreciate any feedback that you have on this. And again, it's, as you can tell, it's definitely unfinished right now, but it's getting there, and I think at the end it's going to be a lot of fun to actually go through this, and I think it'll be more than just fun. I think it'll be educational, and you'll actually be able to learn some stuff from this. That's all I got.